where the moon came from, and because it's so relatively big, this was a real problem. And I think that there is a tendency to think that moons get somehow captured by the parent planets.
So the moon is actually performing an incredible function. It's life-sustaining. Without it, we might not be here.
We've always been told the moon is simply a lifeless rock orbiting the Earth. But how true is that claim? For centuries, humanity has been captivated by the moon, with many people questioning its true nature and wondering if there's more to it than meets the eye. Interestingly, in a recent interview that has left both skeptics and space enthusiasts in awe, Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin has finally addressed some long-held suspicions about the moon.
If there's something very important to be developed from the moon, I'm not sure what it is right now. And I sure think we should identify what it is for America to make such gross expenditures again.
What exactly did he reveal? And why has this information been hidden for so long? Let's find out. Buzz Aldrin's recent confession about the moon. Despite the incredible advancements in technology, the undeniable success of the Apollo missions, and NASA's transparency in sharing lunar data, there have always been doubts surrounding the authenticity of the lunar landings. For NASA scientists, particularly Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong, who put their lives on the line just to see that history was made, it's been very frustrating and has even led to close confrontations with the skeptics. But that is about to change, as Buzz Aldrin, in a recent interview with People, has offered new insights that might finally put some of the doubts to rest. We're about to embark on an exciting ride, so strap your seatbelts and get ready. In that interview, he vividly recounted the Apollo 11 journey to Apollo 11, and listening to him relive the event felt like stepping back in time to witness one of humanity's greatest achievements firsthand. He began by recalling the first challenge they faced just before Neil Armstrong's iconic announcement that the Eagle had landed.
Okay, engine stop. We copy you down, Eagle. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Aldrin explained that as they neared the lunar surface, he and his crew realized they were running dangerously low on fuel, so to avoid being stranded on the moon, he and Armstrong had to manually guide the spacecraft to a safe landing. But that wasn't the end of their troubles because, just as they were getting ready to leave, they discovered that a key part of their spacecraft, the circuit breaker, had accidentally broken off and had to use a pen to turn on the craft's engine. When asked to describe the moon, Aldrin described it as having a soft, powdery surface, with a pitch-black sky and intense sunlight that made the shadows appear sharp and clear. In his words, everything about the moon felt completely alien, but the part that impressed him the most was how the moon was very desolate. To many, the fact that the moon is a desolate place isn't surprising. Long before humans set foot on the moon's surface, scientists had already uncovered clues about its barren nature through pictures from telescopes. As technology advanced, robotic missions in the early 1960s gave us a closer look at the moon. These missions, called Ranger, were designed to capture detailed images of the moon's surface and send them back to Earth. After many attempts, finally, in 1964, Ranger 7 succeeded in transmitting the first clear photos, revealing a landscape covered in fine dust, rough rocks, and countless craters. A few years after the Ranger mission, NASA launched the Surveyor 1, which happens to be the first spacecraft to land on the moon's surface. During its stay on the moon, the Surveyor transmitted data which confirmed that the moon was completely inactive with no signs of water, volcanic eruptions, and geological movements, and most importantly, that the moon's surface was soft and powdery, yet strong enough to hold a spacecraft's weight. This was a crucial discovery, as it proved that astronauts could safely land there, but it didn't end there. After that came the Apollo missions that changed everything.
50 years ago this week, the world watched as the Apollo 11 crew lifted off and then landed on the moon a few days later. Much of the attention, and especially during milestone anniversaries, has focused on Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
When astronauts finally set foot on the moon in 1969, they brought back rocks and soil for scientists to study. These samples confirmed what earlier missions had shown, but this time, with a surprising twist. Some of these sample rocks were mostly volcanic, which means that the moon had once been active. For a place that has been repeatedly tagged barren and lifeless, this new discovery raised doubts, especially from those who never really believed in the Apollo mission. Is the moon really desolate? Over the years, strange sightings, unexplained discoveries, and even ancient myths have suggested that the moon might hold secrets we're not being told. These ideas have heightened people's curiosity and made them wonder if there's more to the moon than we know. One theory that sounds plausible is the hollow moon theory, which suggests that the moon might not be a natural object at all. This idea gained traction in the late 1960s and early 1970s, particularly after two Soviet scientists, Michael Vosin and Alexander Sherbakov, published a paper in 1970 titled, "Is the Moon the Creation of Alien Intelligence?" In their paper, they proposed that the moon might actually be a giant, hollow spacecraft built by an advanced alien civilization. They based this theory on observations of the moon's unusual orbit, low density, and certain unusual characteristics of the moon, which seemed strangely inconsistent with natural satellites. One of their main arguments was that the moon's density is much lower than Earth's, which led them to speculate that the moon might contain vast hollow spaces, possibly created intentionally for storage or habitation. They also noted the moon's remarkably precise orbit around Earth, arguing that such an exact alignment seemed too perfect to occur by chance. This fueled the idea that the moon could have been deliberately placed in its orbit by extraterrestrial beings. The theory gained further attention after the Apollo 12 mission conducted a seismic experiment on the lunar surface, which yielded surprising results. The goal of the experiment was to gather important scientific data about the moon's geology and internal structure, which would aid in future lunar exploration efforts, and the only way to achieve this was to deliberately crash the module's ascent stage into the moon's surface, and as soon as the module crashed, its impact caused vibrations that made the moon ring like a bell for almost an hour. This reaction was seen by supporters of the hollow moon theory as proof that the moon could be hollow. While scientists explained the ringing as a result of the moon's unique geology, the idea that the moon might be hollow still fascinated many. To add to that, another group of people emerged with claims that there are structures on the moon. According to them, some pictures which were taken during NASA's missions show shapes that don't look natural, and these shapes are proof of extraterrestrial activities, possibly long before humans even existed. There were also strange reports of mysterious lights and flashes on the moon. For centuries, astronomers have been spotting these glowing spots that appear and disappear without any clear explanation. These same group of people believe these lights might be signs of extraterrestrial activity on the moon, and that NASA either ignored or deliberately suppressed these findings to maintain the narrative of a desolate moon. But that's not all. Other UFO enthusiasts even speculated that the moon could be an alien base or observation post for alien civilizations monitoring Earth, while others claimed that the NASA astronauts had encountered strange phenomena during their missions, but could not say anything about it due to some kind of non-disclosure agreement they had signed. Even astronauts like Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were sometimes cited, with some conspiracy theorists claiming they had witnessed things on the moon that they weren't allowed to talk about. The later discovery of ice in deep craters at the moon's poles further pushed this narrative. For people who already believed in conspiracy theories, this finding was proof that the moon might not be as lifeless as scientists had claimed. They argued that if scientists were wrong about the absence of water, they might also be wrong about the barrenness of the moon. That is, if they're not deliberately hiding the truth. As we know, water is essential for life, so even finding a small amount on the moon is enough to make one wonder what else could be hidden there. Though scientists explained that the water found was frozen in small amounts, trapped in dark, shadowed craters, and unlikely to support life, the idea of a moon hiding secrets was far more exciting. But it gets even more interesting because recently, these skeptics were given more reason to disbelieve Buzz Aldrin's claims due to the discovery of a cave system on the moon's surface. Recent discovery of cave on the moon. In a bid to enhance our understanding of the month, on June 18, 2009, NASA launched the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, LRO, with the aim of creating a well-detailed 3D map of the moon. Interestingly, what scientists found turned out to be much more exciting than anyone expected, as the following year, the spacecraft had captured images showing strange, deep pits on the surface of the moon. Now, these weren't ordinary craters. They looked like holes, or what some people call skylights, leading down into caves beneath the surface. It was an unexpected discovery that got everyone wondering about its contents. Fast forward to July this year, NASA went back to those images this time, with a new technology which they used to re-examine the data just to have a better understanding of what they saw, and boy, was their mind blown because they discovered that one of these pits, located in a place called the Sea of Tranquility, which happens to be exactly where the Apollo 11 astronauts landed, actually leads to a cave that is about the size of 14 tennis courts put together, and over 200 feet deep into the ground. Scientists believe this cave was formed by ancient volcanic activity, much like lava tubes on Earth. When hot lava once flowed beneath a crust of cooled lava, it created hollow tunnels. If the roof of one of those tunnels collapsed, it would leave behind a pit or hole on the surface, like the one scientists had discovered. But what's even more exciting is that scientists believe there are probably many more of these caves underneath the moon. The radar data suggests that the cave system could stretch for miles, and who knows what else might be hidden below the surface. But what does this mean for us? Well, this discovery could be a game changer for astronauts who want to live and work on the moon in the future. The moon's surface is a harsh place. The temperature changes dramatically between day and night. It's exposed to high levels of radiation, and micrometeorites constantly hit the surface. But the caves offer a natural shield against all of this, which could provide a safe haven for astronauts, protecting them from the harsh conditions on the moon's surface. Some scientists also believe these caves might even serve as the foundation for a permanent lunar base in the future. But what's more fascinating is the fact that the existence of these caves also suggests that the moon may have once supported life. This is because there's a high possibility that they had at some point sheltered microbes or tiny organisms in the past. Here on Earth, some caves are home to unique creatures that survive in dark, extreme environments, and with the recent discoveries of water ice in permanently shadowed areas of the moon, there's a high likelihood that life, even in its tiniest forms, once thrived there. While scientists are careful not to jump to conclusions, the idea that the moon might have once been home to living beings, or that it still holds secrets we don't yet understand, is undeniably fascinating, and we can't wait for future lunar explorations to put a seal to that.
The arrival of the Oumuamua into our solar system has indeed opened the eyes of many scientists to reality. All over the world, there is an awakening as mankind has become fully aware of the benefits of understanding the universe. But not only that, we are also aware that ignorance has consequences, which no one would like to bear. In the past few decades, so much has been done to plant man's feet on the ground in space exploration. Satellites have been launched and telescopes have been created, alongside rockets with spacecraft going on missions. As this is so much effort being put in, it is easy to think that we are likely prepared for the worst. But this thought had only lasted until Oumuamua tumbled in on us with such speed, shape, and mystery that tells us that we were never prepared for it. But what is Oumuamua? Though no one knew what it was when it first showed up, it soon dawned on scientists what type of objects they were dealing with. It was nothing known to our solar system but an interstellar object. Amazingly, it wasn't discovered by any space telescope, but was caught in sight by Robert Wyrick using the Pan-STARRS-1 telescope in Hawaii on October 19, 2017. It is not strange that this telescope discovered Oumuamua, since the Pan-STARRS-1 is no ordinary telescope. This telescope is equipped with advanced technology, allowing it to scan large portions of the night sky rapidly without having any problems with atmospheric hindrances. When it picked up on Oumuamua, scientists were thrilled and puzzled, as the cosmic wanderer was unlike anything we had seen before. Interestingly, Oumuamua means scout or messenger in Hawaiian. and it lived up to its title. Estimated to be tens of billions of years old, this strange visitor had arrived from outside our solar system, zipping through at an incredible speed of 196,000 miles per hour, 87.3 kilometers per second. Its funny-looking shape and strange trajectory left experts scratching their heads. Was it a comet? An asteroid? Was it an alien spacecraft? Nobody was quite sure. The excitement around Oumuamua's discovery soon spread like wildfire in the scientific community as observatories worldwide joined the hunt, collecting as much data as possible during its brief visit. Before completing its visit, the strange object made an astonishing close approach to the Sun, and yet wasn't sucked in. This caused more questions to arise on what Oumuamua was. After analyzing its trajectory and velocity, scientists concluded that Oumuamua originated from outside our solar system, somewhere in the vicinity of another star. It entered the solar system from above the plane of the planets, swung around the Sun, and then departed on a hyperbolic trajectory which showed that it was headed back into interstellar space. Oumuamua's visit to the solar system was brief, and it moved too quickly to be captured by the Sun's gravity. It made its closest approach to the Sun, perihelion, on September 9, 2017, and then sped away from the solar system. Indeed, the object's peculiar characteristics and unexpected origin has puzzled astronomers ever since. But what characteristics of the Oumuamua leave scientists puzzled? When encountering Oumuamua, the first noteworthy thing is its strange and abnormal loo and shape, different from anything known in our spherical solar system. For the citizens of the Milky Way solar system, it is usual to encounter space objects that are spherical in shape. This is a result of gravity pulling in from various planets within. But the Oumuamua's shape is nothing like that of objects born within this solar system. But how did it look exactly? Based on its brightness variations, Oumuamua seemed to have an elongated and irregularly shaped structure, which is described to be that of a cigar or a pancake, with a length-to-width ratio of about 6:1. This is the very beginning of its uniqueness, as many other mysterious features of the Oumuamua lies underway. So many speculations have erupted already from the mysterious shape of Oumuamua. According to some, it may have been a product of some sort of collision in space, or might be debris from the early stages of the formation of a new planet. With their unique look, the cosmic needle-like objects still had many things that made them very mysterious. Most interestingly, Oumuamua is said to have a single-like shape and a reddish tint, making it a complete space cigar indeed. There are a few theories why Oumuamua might have a red tint. One possibility is that it is made of a carbonaceous material, such as a comet nucleus. Another possibility is that Oumuamua is covered in organic molecules, which can also have a red tint. However, it's also possible that the red tint of Oumuamua is due to something else entirely. For example, it has been suggested that the red tint could be caused by radiation damage from the interstellar medium. In addition to its weird shape attributes, Oumuamua, when sighted, did not move normally, but was rather found to be tumbling through space. This was quite unusual compared to other moving space objects, and scientists tried to explain this in different ways. Some have developed ideas of a binary system, where two objects are found orbiting around each other. To create a tumbling effect, one of these orbiting objects had likely pulled away forcefully from its companion, causing it to tumble through space and into our solar system. Now, the weirdness of Oumuamua continues, as scientists also observed that Oumuamua exhibited a non-gravitational acceleration. After analyzing its trajectory, researchers noticed that it deviated slightly from what would be expected based solely on the gravitational forces exerted by the Sun and the planets. This change in its speed, as well as its deviation from the course of gravity, is known as a non-gravitational acceleration. Now, when objects like Oumuamua pass through the solar system, their motion is influenced by the Sun and the planet's gravitational pull. Because of this, astronomers can predict their trajectories based on these gravitational forces, and the objects should follow predictable paths. However, In the case of Oumuamua, astronomers noticed that its motion deviated slightly from what was expected based upon gravitational forces alone. This deviation suggested the presence of an additional force, hence the term non-gravitational acceleration. The leading explanation for this non-gravitational acceleration was related to outgassing. Here, it is said that Oumuamua approached the Sun. Its surface would have been heated by solar radiation. This heating could cause ice and volatile compounds on its surface to vaporize and turn into gas, which would then be expelled from the object. As gas was ejected in one direction, it acted as a tiny rocket engine, providing a slight thrust in the opposite direction. This thrust resulted in a slight acceleration of Oumuamua, causing the observed deviation from the purely gravitational trajectory. Imagine it like a comet. When a comet gets close to the Sun, the solar heat causes the icy nucleus to vaporize, and the expelled gas and dust create a glowing coma and a tail. Similarly, Oumuamua, although not a comet, could have experienced a mild version of this process, leading to the observed non-gravitational acceleration. While the nature and source of Oumuamua's non-gravitational acceleration may still not be definitively determined, the outgassing hypothesis was one of the most plausible explanations based on the available data. Also drawing attention to the strange Oumuamua was its reflectivity, also known as its albedo, which was known to be quite low. This means that it did not reflect much light. To the amazement of scientists, Oumuamua reflected only 5 to 10% of the light that hit it. This is outstandingly low compared to other space objects' usual reflectivity. As astronomers observed, it exhibited an unusual faint and variable brightness. This characteristic made studying challenging, as its brightness changed rapidly as it tumbled through space. The exact reason for its low reflectivity is not definitely known, but a few possible explanations exist. One possibility is that Oumuamua's surface was made of dark, carbon-rich materials. These materials absorb more light and reflect less, producing a low albedo. Another hypothesis is that Oumuamua could have a thin coating of volatile ice on its surface. As it approached the Sun during its journey, these ices might have sublimated, creating a temporary atmosphere, coma, that obscured the object's true surface characteristics. Prolonged exposure to cosmic rays and solar wind in interstellar space could have caused space weathering on its surface. This process could have darkened the surface, resulting in low reflectivity. The irregular and tumbling motion of Oumuamua might have exposed different areas of its surface to our telescopes at different times, leading to variations in observed brightness. Despite the low reflectivity and the mystery surrounding its exact nature, astronomers could only study Oumuamua briefly before it left our solar system. However, its peculiar properties and limited observation time have led to ongoing debates and discussions about its origin and nature among the scientific community. Among all these numerous debates are the question of what exactly Oumuamua is. Let us look at the first heated debate that arose about the Oumuamua. Is it a comet or an asteroid? While it had been established as an interstellar object, scientists still found it difficult to place their hands on exactly what the Oumuamua was. To answer this question, scientists have come up with so many speculations. Among these speculations was the debate about the Oumuamua either being a comet or an asteroid. This confusing debate has led scientists to closely consider the ready facts. Now, is Oumuamua a comet or an asteroid? Actually, we cannot have the answers if we don't understand what these items are. Comets are icy bodies that develop tails as they approach the Sun. This tail is known as a coma, a visible cloud of dust and gas that surrounds the comet's nucleus as they approach the Sun. This coma is formed due to the sublimation of volatile materials from the comet's surface. Now, this is what majorly differentiates the Oumuamua from a comet. No visible coma was observed despite its proximity to the Sun during its passage through the solar system. As for asteroids, they are mainly rocky objects. According to scientists, Oumuamua is also not an asteroid, and here is why. First, the shape of Oumuamua sets it apart from most known asteroids. This is because its elongated cigar-like shape differs from the more common irregular shapes or rounder appearances of asteroids. Another difference is that asteroids are gravity-bound, while the Oumuamua is not. But if Oumuamua is neither a comet nor an asteroid, what is it? In the end, the confusion about the Oumuamua not being an asteroid or a comet has made some scientists speculate about the possibility of it being an artificial object, such as a probe sent by an extraterrestrial civilization. Avi Loeb, an astrophysicist at Harvard University, is the most prominent proponent of this theory. Loeb and his colleagues have argued that Oumuamua's unusual shape, high speed and acceleration could all be explained if it was a light sail, a type of spacecraft propelled by sunlight. Other scientists who support the alien probe theory include Shmuel Avatel, an astronomer from the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel, and Alberto Caballero, an astrophysicist at the University of Vigo in Spain. However, most scientists have remained skeptical of the alien probe theory. These scientists have all pointed to the unusual properties of the Oumuamua, such as its elongated shape, high speed and acceleration, as evidence that it is not a natural object. They have also argued that the alien probe theory best explains these properties. In the end, the scientists opposing this notion argue that there are more mundane explanations for Oumuamua's properties, such as the possibility that it is a comet stripped of its volatiles or a natural asteroid elongated by its rotation. So what next? Even though the speed of the Oumuamua makes it unique, it might not be such a good thing for us, as it implies that the Oumuamua might be slipping off the observing eyes of scientists even before there is a chance to understand what it really is. The reality of this has created concerns among scientists, currently doing all they can to gather as much information as possible from the Oumuamua before it finally disappears into the cosmos. One thing that has been instrumental to the information currently being gathered from the Oumuamua is the James Webb Space Telescope. Indeed, the Oumuamua had first been sighted by the Pan-STARRS 1. The James Webb Space Telescope soon took over, proving crucial to the study of the Oumuamua by capturing its precise and clear images. In case you didn't know, the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, is a space-based observatory and the successor to the Hubble Space Telescope. It was named after James E. Webb, a former NASA administrator, being a joint project between NASA, the European Space Agency ESA, and the Canadian Space Agency CSA, where it was launched on December 25, 2021. The abilities of this telescope will astonish you. First, the telescope is equipped with advanced technology, including a 6.5-meter diameter primary mirror, making it the largest space telescope ever built. Its main advantage is its ability to observe the infrared spectrum, allowing it to see through dust clouds and observe visible light. These features enable JWST to study the formation of stars, galaxies, and planets, even in the early universe. The primary scientific objectives of the JWST are to study the first galaxies formed in the early universe, observe the formation of stars and planetary systems, investigate the properties of planetary atmospheres, including exoplanets, and study galaxy evolution and supermassive black holes. For this, the JWST has been positioned at the second Lagrange point, L2, around 1.5 million kilometers, about 932,000 miles from Earth. This location allows it to maintain a relatively stable position concerning the Earth and the Sun. After its launch, the JWST underwent a series of complex deployment procedures, including unfolded its sunshield and aligning its mirrors and instruments. It took several weeks for the telescope to become fully operational and is designed to function for at least 10 years. With its infrared capabilities and sophisticated instruments, JWST has revolutionized our understanding of the universe, providing valuable insights into the formation of celestial objects and potentially detecting signs of life beyond our solar system. So far, though, the James Webb Space Telescope seems to have done a good job in capturing images and data that have proven very helpful in the understanding of the Oumuamua. A bigger project seems underway to even fully push our understanding of not only the Oumuamua, but of all the interstellar space objects that have plagued our curiosity. We are talking about Project Lyra. This feasibility study of a mission to interstellar objects such as 1 Oumuamua and 2 Borisov, initiated on October 30, 2017 by the Initiative for Interstellar Studies, I4IS. The project aims to assess the feasibility of a mission to these objects using current and near-term technology and propose mission concepts for achieving a flyby or rendezvous. The challenge of sending a spacecraft to an interstellar object is not easy. Already, the Oumuamua has hyperbolic access velocity of 26 kilometers per second. This translates to a velocity of 5.5 AU per year. Judging from this speed, scientists say that it will be beyond Saturn's orbit within 2 years. This is much faster than any object humanity has ever launched into space.
Do you agree with Buzz Aldrin that the moon is desolate? Or do you think there might be something more on the moon that we're not aware of? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.